Hello, and welcome to a very short episode of the Bible in 1 Year with the Preacher's Husband. Today, we're talking about Deuteronomy chapter 30 and chapter 31. Now, tomorrow, we're going to move on to Deuteronomy chapter 32, 33, and 34. And also, we're going to do Psalm 91. So, 4 different chapters tomorrow. Deuteronomy 32 through 34 and Psalm 91. Now, we start out chapter 30 with Moses summarizing some more stuff, and this is all about returning to the Lord, a return to the grace. It's essentially alluding to the grace of God, the being able to accept you and your shortcomings. God knew all along that Israel was going to fail. He knew what they were going to do ahead of time, and he even refers to this, that even Moses says that I know when I die you're going to revert back, but returning to the Lord is the way. And then we get into this section, verse 11, and I'm going to refer this one to the section called Choose Life. And verse 11 says right away, "This command I give you today is certainly not too difficult or beyond your reach." And in verse 15 it says, "See, today I have set before you life and prosperity, or death and adversity. For I am commanding you today to love the Lord your God, to walk in his ways, and to keep his commandments, statutes, and ordinances, so that you may live and multiply, and the Lord your God may bless you in the land you are entering to possess. But if your heart turns away, and you do not listen, and you are led astray to bow and worship to other gods and serve them, I tell you today that you will certainly perish, and will not prolong your days in the land you are entering to possess across the Jordan." And then at the end of verse 19 he says, "I have set before you life and death, blessing and curse. Choose life, so that you and your descendants may live." And after the next verse 20, that ends his third address. The third address of Moses comes to a conclusion there. Now, this was super important. He gave you polar opposites, just like Paul in the New Testament taught an opposite. You have life or you have death. And you have, how did he put it? Prosperity or what? Adversity. So you can have life or you can have death. You can have prosperity, you can have adversity. You've got to choose for yourself which one you're going to get. Are you going to get life and prosperity, or are you going to get death and adversity? It's your choice. Now we move on to chapter 31, and this is the fourth and final address of Moses. Chapter 31, verses 1 through 29 are his final address. In verse 2 he says, "I am now 120 years old. I can no longer act as your leader." And the Lord told him so. So Joshua is the one who will cross ahead of you, as the Lord has said. So Moses basically blesses Joshua. In verse 7, he summoned Joshua and said to him in the sight of all Israel, "Be strong and courageous." And he goes on to encourage him, and he encourages him not to be afraid of God or to be discouraged, but because the Lord his God was the one who will go before him. God will be with him, and he will not leave you or abandon you. So he was trying to encourage Joshua through here, that Joshua was going to be the new leader. And then he ends with a warning, basically warning the people in verse 27 of chapter 31. "For I know how rebellious and stiff-necked you are." Of course, there he is with that stiff-neck stuff again. Because he basically says, "I am still alive. How much more will you rebel after I am dead?" Because he knows that they've rebelled before on multiple occasions, and God has punished them on multiple occasions. And he warns them that if you do this, you know what the consequences are going to be. And of course, it never fails. We're not perfect. So neither were the Israelites, and they were going to fail, and they do. And the end of verse 29, that ends Moses' fourth and final address. Now, some say the address goes on, but the address itself actually ends here, and then the Song of Moses comes next, which we will get into tomorrow. I hope this has touched you. Hit the like button, the subscribe button, and of course click the little jingle bell so you can get notified the next time I upload a video. And I will see you tomorrow. Adios, amigos.